We have got to deal with these. Oh my gosh, the artillery coming off here is quite extraordinary. Hit them hard, lads, hit them hard! Get into them, lads, get in. Oh, look at that, that's an absolute decimation there, sir. Oh, what a shot, sir. My compliments to the chef. Oh my goodness me, what an absolute bloodbath, sir. We salute General Roberts has got this army absolutely disciplined to the absolute nth degree here. I always knew he was a fine general, but this is absolutely confirming that. Greetings and welcome to episode 45, my Empire Total War Darth mod Great Britain campaign. And this, my friends, I read it for the last time. And before we start, my friends, I'd like to apologise for the time it's taken to be able to get this episode out. There's two main reasons, my friends. First of all, work has been absolutely crazy. It really has. Christmas coming up and it's been really, really busy. But secondly, my friends, it's because I've also got a brand new PC. Which I ordered a while back. The PC is mainly for work and it's also / gaming one. I've sort of fitted it so this got a a good amount of future proofing in it, and it's taken a while to get things sorted, get everything transferred from my old PC to this one, get all the save games for the different campaigns onto the new computer. So as you can imagine, it's taken quite a while, so I do apologise for the lateness. It could be 3 or 4 days before I've uploaded this, so if you see this, it could be like the 4th day before it's come up, so I really do apologise for that. But now we should be back on track, they should be back to normal. It's just a temporary blip while I managed to get things sorted out. And of course, if you notice any differences in sound, you also might hear say in the background a little bit more clicking. Is because the keyboard I have bought it's got to be a bit more sturdy than my other one. My other one wasn't very sturdy, it did quite break, unfortunately. So some of the times you might hear clicking. I've actually bought a more sturdy a keyboard primarily for work, but if you do hear any clicking in the background, my friends, then I do apologise. Hope it doesn't distract at all from the campaigns. But let us begin, my friends, now where we left off here. And we finally, at last, my friends, brought this haven here, a brief haven here of tranquility here. We managed to have a sort of a rapprochement, dare we say, with the Poles, where they've backed off from us. They've accepted peace. And of course, we've also managed to wrestle back Istanbul as well, my friends, from the Russians, who are absolutely thorn in our side at the moment. We really are in a brutal war with the Russians. We really, really are. But also, they've sent this small strike force here, which is going to be an absolute menace to us. It really is, striking against many of our towns and villages here to try and disrupt our trade behind the lines. Now that we have sealed off Istanbul here, with this still quite a powerful Russian force here in Anatolia here, so we have to be very, very careful what we're doing here indeed. But we are not, that's not going to put us off at all. We need to first remove these fiends here, and many of the council have said, my friends, many of the council have said that we need to also continue growing the navies, because as the council rightly pointed out, we are pretty much a privateer nation. So basically we're relying on raiding the trade lines for our income. So as you can see here, a great deal of our income here comes from raiding, 31,104 here. Now of course our navy upkeep isn't that big, which means we do have scope to increase it here, because this will pick up the sort of the slack, as it were. We've got 21,244 available to us. We are looking, many of the council have recommended two things. First, that we possibly look at striking Ankara here. Now, Ankara, as you can see, has been fully upgraded here by the Russians. It is absolutely, well, it's a fully walled city, absolutely done to the rafters here, it really is. If we were to capture Ankara, it would effectively cut off or postpone, should we say, or delay any possible movement by the Russians into Istanbul. It would also give us control, more importantly, of this strait here, the strait between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, a vital link here for the Russians. And also, would also lead us into the Crimea, which literally is the very beating heart here of the Russian trade economy here. Look at that, 82,133 coming in every single turn without fail. And if we were to disrupt that, if we were to hit that, as many of the council have recommended, that would really put a huge pressure economically on the Russians. And we've also managed to curtail the Russian sort of aggression here in Scandinavia. As you can see here, we've given back, again, the advice of the bequest here of the council to give Sweden back Norway. Christiania here is back under their control. And because of that, they've actually had the money now to replenish and repair Hus here, which has opened up additional trade income for ourselves and also for the Swedes. The Swedes can now start to stand on their own 2 feet. But we have to be very wary here, because loitering around here in Sweden here, deep in the sort of the interior here of Sweden, were 2 to 3 full stacked Russian armies here. Now, where are they? We don't know where they are now. They could either be heading down to Stockholm, to Sweden, to reinforce, or they could be crossing into the mountains and making their way through Norway to strike Christiania here again. Now, that's why we are not the reason why we're here, because we are actually repairing and replenishing these forces that took a real beating there at the Battle of Norway, but we managed to hold there. We've also managed to bring in additional reinforcements here as well. General Roberts here. Now, I know that many of you have asked to be units renamed. I will promise you, my friends, that I will do that next episode, but because this is sort of delayed, I wanted to get this episode out there so that we can catch up. But there will be a third campaign, or third episode for the Britain campaign, in which case all of your requests to be renamed units and regiments and armies will actually be put into place. But at the moment, I just wanted to put this sort of episode out so we can get things going. But look at this, which I didn't notice before. Berlin is under pressure here. Look at this. It looks like the French could lose Berlin here to the Poles. Because the Poles are now at peace with us, it means it's freed up additional forces for them. So they're actually moving a lot of their forces from the south up to the north. And look at this. France has taken an absolute pounding here. It really is. Look at that. They lose Berlin. They'll effectively lost all of their main production centres here along the sort of eastern front. They'll only have Dresden and Munich here still under their control. And even here, Poland is hitting Bavaria here, and they've hit Salzburg as well. They've even hit this here in Vorarlberg here. So they look at their influence has stretched. They've obviously moved troops from Vienna all the way out here. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, that must mean that there's a French force in here, because this is Polish territory. So actually they're sort of crisscrossing paths here, hitting each other's lands, hitting each other's assets here and villages and towns along the way. So we've got the French attacking Salzburg, and we've got the Poles hitting Innsbruck here. As you can see, my friends, the French are under a huge amount of pressure on the Eastern Front. Can they hold? Now, as you can see, the distance between Berlin and Paris is vast, but so is the Polish Empire. I mean, that is a monstrous empire. I mean, that is just an absolute behemoth here. I mean, look at the size of this. It is huge. But that is even dwarfed even further by the Russian. I mean, look at the Russian asset. Look at the Russian purge here of everything all the way down, right down here into the Mughal Empire. I mean, they've got Persia, they've got everything in the Baghdad. The only place that's left open here is Syria here, which is, of course, the Ottomans. But look at here. France have got Egypt down here. They've got Cairo down here, right here on the Mediterranean, which is absolutely fantastic, actually, to have France down here, because it stops the Russians and also stops any other sort of nation as well we might be in a war with previously. Now, just because we're at peace with them doesn't mean they're going to stay peace for very long. Now, as you can see, we've also got here this army here, which is quite clearly aimed at Patras here, Moria. What we've done is we've shifted the force from Athens into Moria. We've also put this very small 2 regiments here, sort of bridging this this thoroughfare here, through here, this pass here that moves between the two, so that if for any reason the Russians move against Athens or against, dare I say against Athens, I beg your pardon, at least these will stop, at least this will trigger a battle that at least we'll have a chance at holding against you. But look at this, they have once again brought a stupendous amount of cannons with them here, only 6-pounders, but together they can do a tremendous amount of damage, lots of line infantry. So we are actually prepared here, we are actually prepared to meet them here, full on, head on here. We do have Royal Highlanders, we have Royal Irish regiments. We've got some veteran units. You can see all of these units of highly experienced, battle-hardened troops here. General DJP here. We've also got 324-pounders, which are doing absolutely wonderful. We are actually converting this in Pylos here into a shipyard here, and then up to a naval hospital eventually. Maybe this is why the Russians have attacked us. Maybe they don't want us to have this this facility here in the Mediterranean, because of course, as the council rightly said, we are in the Russians' backyard here. We're making a nuisance of ourselves, which we don't have a problem with, to be honest. But look at this force here. This is quite a powerful fleet here. We do have a fleet down here raiding this Russian line here. As you can see, Russia's 30,227 here. We are raiding it with this force here, which does need replenishing and repairing, but we don't have the facilities at the moment. But also, we've got this Russian fleet, and this fleet, I can absolutely guarantee you, will be heading up here, excuse me, my friends, up to Bristol here. Now, we are in the midst of upgrading this global trade company, but also we've also got repairing these ships from this fleet here, which we are also in dock, and it is repairing and replenishing. But also look at this, now we've got our own, now we're starting to really build. Now we're going to put a lot of money into these fleets. It is not cheap to do so, my friends. It's going to cost us a huge amount of money to get these fleets up and running. But if we are successful here, we could have quite the powerful navy here, which we're going to need, because Russia is not going to stop. They will not stop. We might even be able to move ships further down into this trade line here, and then swap these ships back so they can repair. But eventually they have to repair and replenish, because you can see not all of them. We do have Narcissus here. We do have also HMS Victory here as well, which is an absolute wondrous sight there. It really is. So as you can see here, and Spain has become an absolute titan as well. But let's just have a look at Spain's diplomatic status with everyone. Very friendly with us, which is excellent to see. They're at war with Genoa, but they're allies of France. I wonder if they would... No, they wouldn't come to the aid of France at all, because of course they're not at war with Poland. But that would be... Looks like France are going to lose Berlin. But what we're hearing about here is that the Swedes hold their ground here. And in fact, we just want to have a quick check. There's nothing loitering about behind, gentlemen. There's nothing loitering around here at all. We want to keep a check, because Stockholm is going to be our next target in the north here. These forces here, these two armies here, are going to be earmarked. We're going to board. They're going to board a transport ship, or two transport ships. So that, my friends, they're going to come around the peninsula here, in the Baltic Sea, and move through and land at Stockholm and besiege it straight off the march here. We're really going to hit them hard here, and then we're going to keep Stockholm. Stockholm is going to be ours to keep. And then if we can move on maybe to Finland, maybe we can clear any additional Russian forces that might be loitering around here. Might be able to clear them out eventually with troops from Stockholm, and then we'll take Finland, and we shall hand that over to the Swedes as well. We need a strong ally here in the north, and it looks like the Sweden is starting to sort of get itself back on its feet. Yeah, they've got everything pretty much upgraded here, apart from the Great Parliament, which is not fully upgraded here. But look at that army, that's a wonderful army there. Royal Observatory, or at least they've got sand settlement, fortified settlement as well. They're not building anything else here either. Nope. They've got a classical university. So they're actually not doing too bad. Hopefully, with our assistance and our help, they will be able to actually, push their economy, help themselves grow again, stand on their own 2 feet. We can't be there for them all the time. These forces have to be earmarked for elsewhere. But at the moment, we don't have a problem with helping them. As you can see, London is fully ready here to meet anything. But actually, we've got 24-pounders here, which probably moved into the front. We're also recruiting the forces that I did very carelessly give away last time. I really did. It was an appalling sort of a cavalry usage by me. It really was an appalling amount of loss from the cavalry there. But we are going to deal with these fiends here, I think. Let's move on this, gentleman. And I think it's in the balance here, but we'll take the chance here. Yes, of course, sir. Now, are they in our territory? Can we? No, we can't, because by rights they're just over the Polish border here, so they can't actually. We can't actually attack them. But can? No, we can't actually attack them because by rights they're sort of just upon the Polish territory, which means they're out of our reach here. But we can repair this, and we can also replenish these gentlemen as well, which is exactly what we want to do. Because they have proven their worth once again. What have we got here in terms of navy? A mixture. They've got some heavy rates in here. The first rate ship is under Goliath here, but again we need additional naval forces within the Mediterranean, and hopefully this will bring that force. Look, and they still got these very powerful forces here in Heraklion, in Crete. So we've got to be careful. If they unleash these upon us, we will be struggling. That means having to pull forces away from this sort of this northern front here, down to Greece. Greece is probably going to be the main battle line here. Patras is definitely going to come under siege. They are definitely going to attack us here. So it depends what's going to happen first. If only we could rid ourselves of these fiends here, but unfortunately we can't. But the Poles are increasing their forces along the border here. Why is that, I wonder? That means we might have to move these gentlemen to the border as well. I think we'll probably do that just to make sure. Let's move them into here. So they can't, they'll probably slip past, but that doesn't matter. They have been mauled severely here. But we're going to try and build, what we will do is we will build this army, this force here into a full stack army here. We're going to really put together probably an army group here and maybe strike against either Crimea or against Ankara as the Council have suggested. But that, my friends, is where we are at the moment now. Britain is booming here economically. It is absolutely thriving here, which is always good to see. But we do need to increase our trade ports here. As you can see, we're already getting our global trade company here, the global trading company here, but also in Ireland is going to need a Waterford here. It's going to need it as well to increase that, boost that there. It's been a tough campaign, my friends, but with your help, we're getting there slowly. But it's going to be interesting what happens here in Berlin, and let's find out what does indeed happen. Excuse me, my friends. Let's have a sup of my tea. France. Will France actually move in here and do something now? My word, Spain is powerful there in Cuba. Poland. Have they taken Berlin? That's the key question here at the moment, because what happens on the continent also affects us, because as Poland increases in its strength, that means we have a much more powerful potential foe in the future to deal with. We must be prepared here to hold... No. Oh my goodness me, you jest, sir, surely. And without any ships in the area either, we can't attack this boat here. That means they're going to attack Istanbul. Good grief. Plot thickens. Plot thickens. Well, I will be. We've got to deal with a massive amount of Russian troops here. Look at the size of this. Oh my goodness me. Do we intercept and bring this back to the battle here? Because if they bring this force in as well, we will be overwhelmed. We will be absolutely overwhelmed here. We need to bring another force down from... We'll have to move the force from Athens into this fight here. They're starting to bring in a lot more troops here now. Well, it looks like we're going to have to pull the force from the front lines here to pull into Athens. And also that includes this Athens garrison here. Shall we take this fight and weaken these forces here? We're going to have to take this fight so we can at least throw them back and then bring the Athens garrison into combat this force here that's just landed. But by damn, they have absolutely thrown everything they can at us here. They want Patracia, they want Moria, because that will give them access to Greece. That means we have to pull forces away from the front lines here. Looks like we're going to pull this force here away from the front line, because it looks like the Russians are going to throw their whole weight against us here on this southern flank. But we can take this fight here. We are going to take this fight, but it's going to be purely defensive. We only have 3 regiments of cavalry. We might send one out to try and deal some damage to this artillery, but this artillery is going to do a tremendous amount of damage to us. But we've just got to accept that, my friends. Can we fight? Can we use the village possibly as our help? Let's take this fight. It's weighed heavily against us here as well. Mind you, we do have reinforcements of 450. There's 2 regiments here, the 51st and 8th Regiment. We've got Grenadiers, we've got Royal Highland Grenadiers as well. We've also got Royal Irish Regiment in here as well. So that, we've also got Rangers as well, which is fantastic. But let's take this fight. Let's not shirk our responsibilities here. Let's not cower in the corner, sir. Let's not cower in the corner. Oh, we stand tall. We stand tall, sir. We face the Russians head on, so at least they know, even if we lose Patras, even for a brief moment, at least the Russians know that they'll have a hell of a fight. Oh, gentlemen, as you can see here, this is a brand new install on my... so what we are going to do is do that. And I believe... I really do apologise for this, my friends. I believe we've got it also. That's fine. That's okay. I do apologise for this, but as you can imagine, we do have, and it's a timer as well, so that's excellent. So it is a fresh install, so I haven't taken off all the options, so I do apologise about that. Right. We've got our cavalry here, which is excellent. We've got 3 regiments, but I think we'll try and keep them here. Look at this, we've got the town as well to break up their formations. That's an absolute wonder to see, it really is. But we might keep back 2 regiments. We might keep back 2 regiments for defence, but try and just push one of them out, 1 regiment out, maybe the 3rd regiment, to actually take the fight to the Russians, and to try and hunt down their cannons, which we did before. Remember, they didn't work very well here. Let's try and get our cannons into place here first of all. Now, where's our fallback position going to be here? I think we'll use the forested area, this thick undergrowth, this thick lush vegetation here as our zone of control here, because we need to draw the Russians in through the village to disrupt their lines, but also to bring them under heavy fire when they do come through that village. It really is vital here, sir. Right, let's put the cannons here, gentlemen. Brought under control. Just push them forward a little bit here, just to give ourselves a little bit of breathing space with demarcation line. Demarcation line is back here, which is excellent. Can we even pull some reserves out of here? Can we have some reserve forces here? Now we've got General DJP here as well. We shall actually just push in here as well. Now, we won't bring him into quicklime yet, but how close are the Russians for quicklime? Now they're quite a distance. Actually, that is a fair old distance away from us. That's a long way for them to come, especially if their artillery is this distance. Mind you, the artillery, if our howitzers can reach this far, then their artillery will definitely be able to reach us over here. But that's the price we've got to pay here. That's why we've got to try and hunt out down their cannons, even if it's just 1. Now, whom do we have here in the vanguard of this defence? We've actually got Rangers here. We want to use the Rangers sensibly here. We don't want to just throw them away. So we'll actually put them to one side here. We've got the 17th Regiment here. What we do need, we've got Grenadiers. Now Grenadiers are the actual backbone here, sir. Well, actually we'll have the 3rd Grenadier. Look at that. What a regiment. Look at the veterans. Look at the echelons here on these. It is wonderful here. The experience of these gentlemen is quite extraordinary. They have been through quite a number of fights. So we've got the 3rd, and they're hidden as well. Even better. So we've got the 3rd Grenadiers here. A wonderful sight there. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. Now, I think what we'll do is put some of our more veteran infantry units here. We'll have the 30th Regiment here holding the right flank. And I think we'll have the 23rd Regiment here holding the left flank here. Might be a little bit too far away here. We need close cooperation here. Gentlemen. Thank you. Let's move our cavalry out of the way here, just so we can get a better deployment. And we might even set these gentlemen in the front here. We've got light infantry doctrine here. We might even set them in the front. Just as a skirmish line to do extra damage. You can see here, We've got this skirmish line here now. Could they even draw the fire from the cannon to them? In which case we'll probably set them a little bit further forward here as a forward skirmishing line. I know this might go against, but we've got to try and absorb that artillery fire. Excuse me, my friends. Now, I think we're on the sort of extremities here. We need some strong forces. We'll have the Grenadiers, the 6th Regiment. Oh, look, that's an absolute joy to see, sir. And they're hidden on the flanks here as well. Even better. That long grass, remember, they're able to hide in the long grass here, which is absolutely fantastic. And I think, what the Royal... Yes, of course, the 8th Grenadiers, Royal Scottish Highlanders, look at that. Wonderful to see, wonderful. Gentlemen. Magnificent, sir. Magnificent. 29th Regiment. We need those combat experienced regiments. Yeah, I think the 29th, they are a combat experienced, very, very experienced veteran unit. 38th, they're colonials, but they're still excellent troops. And again, we need this line to hold here. We need to absorb as much of this Russian pressure as possible. And this long grass here, this long grass could play into our favour here. As you can see, they're able to hide here. This is, you know, this is waist high grass here. This is a wonderful place to hide. It really is. Can we actually pull some reserves in here? It would be fantastic. Cool, look at that, Royal Highland Grenadiers. I think we'd have the Royal Highland Grenadiers on the extremities here. We need that discipline here to hold the flanks, which they invariably will attack. Now we've got 3 regiments here, 4 regiments, I beg your pardon. Now, can we hold these in reserve? Can we hold 2 regiments in reserve on either flank here? Because remember, there's a demarcation line right over here for them. Now that would really put everything into perspective there. If we were to be able to hold this flank here, we can actually pull back as well, because we see there's still got a decent amount here of space between the deployment and the demarcation line here. We also have the Royal Irish Regiment as well. Could we put them on this extreme flank here? I think we will, just to hold this flank. I got a feeling that the right flank, our right there left, might come under a lot of pressure, which means the 34th will be the only regiment in reserve. We're also going to keep 2 regiments of horse in reserve. Remember, we've learnt our lesson. So we'll have 1 regiment here and 1 regiment on the right. This regiment, though, is going to try and seek out that artillery. Wait for the right time to strike. Remember, we've got a lot of hills, and as you can see here in the distance, there in the distance, my friends, is Patras, is Moria itself. Look at that there, sir. Now we need to be able to flank around. There's quite a gap here, as you can see, a no man's land between the deployment demarcation line. If we can squeeze between here without being spotted, who knows what might happen. But they're going to be more of a spontaneous unit that's going to hit if the opportunity arises. Then we will remember. Russia's going to be a real thorn in our side here, and they've just proven that with this battle here. Let's begin, my friends. Let's hold back anymore. Let's just pull these gentlemen back here. We've got to be able to pull them back. Well, that's a lot of fire here. There's a lot on this side. Now I think what we will do is we'll push in these gentlemen here just to protect this flank here. That's a lot of forces they've got here, sir. Now where's it? Now where are their cannons? The cannons are absolutely slap bang in the middle here. So we're going to be patient. We're going to take this hit. As you can see, we're already taking fire, but we are going to run out of cavalry right up the flank here. Look at that. Take that steady now. Remember, that is just an opportunistic strike here. We're going to come under a tremendous amount of pressure here. Are we up to it? Of course we are, sir. Let the Russians come. Let them come. Let them feel the full wrath of the British Empire, sir. Almost falling in just this slow sort of march here, this inexorable march. Now they're not. They're still limbered, which actually is going to give us some time to breathe here. But they do have a huge amount of artillery. Remember, this here is our sort of strike. We're not going to be silly again. We're going to just take our time. Can we use the road here to our advantage? Can we just sneak up on them here? And just, that's a lot of cavalry there. They've even got cuirassiers. We're not going to sneak in there anytime soon. Now we've struck, now they're going to move. Oh, what a shot, sir. My compliments to the chef. That's more like it. Keep firing, lads. We want this cavalry to be moved. This is what we need here. We need the cavalry to be moved. But they're protecting the artillery, which is usually their raison d'etre. We must wait here for this to be used here. Steady, gentlemen, steady. Now we can't give away our position here. We're just going to sit and wait for the opportunity to arise. They haven't spotted us yet. Oh, look at that. Excuse any noise in the background, my friends. You'll probably know who that is. He's in a particularly, dare we say, showing off mood. So as you can imagine, it's going to be quite a noisy background noise. Now, all of these troops are going to fall within perfect range here. Oh, well done, sir, well done. We need them to come in quick line fire, because that's going to really bring home that fire we've got here. Gentlemen, just steady now. If those horses move out, we are going to absolutely take the plunge. I think what we will do is actually prepare these horse here, this cavalry, for that fight. They're quite clear. They're quite clearly going to be firing. Oh my! Oh, what a shot! 178 already. They're already down here. Compliments to the chef, sir. Patience is a virtue, my friends. Patience is a virtue. If we wait, look at these gentlemen here. They're almost within quick line fire. Steady, lads, steady now. Wait for the order. We must maintain our discipline here. Nothing else matters here apart from the discipline. Waiting for that time to strike. Oh, look at that. It's an absolute joy to see, it really is. We just need that cavalry to move out. What can we do to poke and prod that cavalry into action? Look at that, that sat in the long grass, just waiting there for action. They can see the Russians advancing, sir, but they haven't even flinched a muscle. That is the caliber of troops here, sir. We're going to leave them on fire at will here. Just give them that opportunity to fire when they want. That's what faces them. They can't even see our troops. They're just walking blindly into this here. Look at that, down to 53 men. That is staggering. That is staggering fire. Now, look at the sheer, look at the distance here of their firing range. It is wonderful to see. And as these gentlemen here move forward. Steady, lads. Steady now. Steady, gentlemen. Look sharp, lads. Look sharp. We've broken one regiment and we haven't even engaged them in hand-to-hand combat or even within firing range. Let's adjust our fire here. Maybe we can take these as they bunch together here. If we can do a lot of destruction, a lot of harm to this Russian force here, it would set us up very well for the next battle. It really would. Oh my goodness me, sir. What a wonderful shot there. Look at this. It's an absolute bloodbath. We've got these that are sort of moved in on this left flank here, but still, it is a joy to see. It really is. Steady, lads. Steady, gentlemen.
Skirmishers!
The front line, sir. The slow and inexorable march of the Russians here into this battle-hardened army here. Oh, these men have seen many and many a sight here. But the Russians, they'll soon learn what they're up against here. Come on, gentlemen. Let's see that fire. Up. Oh my goodness me, what a shot. Stay focused, lads. This is what I mean. We just need to... Yes, that's it. We can bring them to fab. Let's pull them back. Let's draw them into this fire now. That's it, lads. Fire on them. It's an absolute joy to see. Can we close this flank here and outflank them here? Look at this, they're already starting to waver under this magnificent pressure. We just would, yeah, there they are. They're starting now to move their forces away here. Come the reinforcements, here come the reinforcements. Brace for impact, lads. Crafty fiends, they switched at the last moment there. Square formation. Oh, look at that, they were ready for it as well, sir. Excuse any noise in the background, is still my friend. Get General square! Yes, look at that, the whole cuirassier is wiped out here. Excuse the noise in the background there, my friend, still going on there, I know. But it is, gentlemen. They've broken, they've had enough. Get into them, lads. Get into them. We've got to help out here. That's a wonderful sight here. Come on, gentlemen, we've got to push them back here. Hold the Russian fiends, sir. Gentlemen, please get yourselves sorted here. And move, this is not a picnic, sir. We've still got reinforcements, remember, we've still got reinforcements. We don't want to use them yet unless it's absolutely necessary. We've got another battle coming up here very, very soon. Don't stand there like lemons, sir. Move! It's been an absolute bloodbath. Will the Russians finally see the error of their ways? I doubt it very much, sir. Let's cut them down here. Let's cut them down. Come on, filter through, lads. Filter through. We've caused absolute havoc here for them. Come on, gentlemen, you were given orders. Follow those orders. Here come the reinforcements. We're going to pull back this line here. And in fact, we are going to actually reinforce it with these gentlemen here. I think it's probably best if we shift these 34th Regiment as well to this left flank, just in case it does break. They've gone, they've broken. Track them down, lads. Hold the the line, lads, hold the line. We're going to shift the cavalry as well. Protect this flank. I think we can also shift... Wait a minute, not just yet. I think we'll shift the Rangers also into the front line here. Oh, what a fight, what a fight this is. Move, gentlemen. I think we can track down that. They've still got a lot of cavalry here. Looks like patience is going to pay off here. Oh, what a shot. There's that militia regiment. They're shattered. Actually hitting the building here. Oh, look at that. That's marksmanship of its finest, sir. Patience, lads, patience now. Steady, gentlemen, steady now. The blazes is going on here, sir. Oh, look at that. Broken. What? Wait, what the? The reinforcements that comes through at the same time as the Russian reinforcements from the same direction. Oh, surely you jest, sir. What? They've come through. Perfect. Come on, that side, just move out. Let's go and help them. Let's move, lads, let's move. We've got to force them into the open here. The dragoons are still on horseback here. And they're still caught here. That is a merry dance indeed, sir. We can't actually attack them. Thankfully we've got the timer. Wonderful to see here, gentlemen. The inexorable march of the British Army, sir. Oh, what a shot. Of course, because they've come into the same time as ours, that dance there of theirs. Ah. Now we've got the chance. Now, gentlemen. Square formation. Took my eye off the ball there, gentlemen. Move. Now they're attacking into a square. Let's get down and dirty here, gentlemen. Let's clear this entire flank here. And now our patience has paid off. Yes. Fedor Rost dead. Met in the field by of course they're shaken. Look what they're up against. Oh what, look at that, across the flanks there, gentlemen. Broken by the sheer firepower. Shattered. Shattered. We've lost some more cavalry, but by my word they did a wonderful job there. We've absolutely blitzed this Russian force here. We've absolutely given a sound thrashing here. The dragoons, no gentlemen, wait. Patience, patience, gentlemen. Look at that. That was a mighty fight there on the hill here. But luckily we've got the timer on here, so if needs be we can push on past this intricate dance, dare we say, here. I wonder if we can bring up artillery and just blast them to pieces. at that, the square is ready for them. The final death throes here of the Russian army. Gone. Now let us finish off what is rest. What is left, dare I say. Cover the cavalry. Let's rid ourselves of these fiends. Losing slightly, I would say so, sir. How about you, sir? Into them, lads. Let's kill the last Russian general on the frontier. Where the blazes these dragoons come from? Oh, gentlemen, this is not a Sunday stroll. Move! Oh, they have come off the line. Excellent. These gentlemen pushed them away from the line. Wonderful to see. It did work out in our favour. The balance of power is firmly in our favour now, sir. But the majority of our armies are intact here. They have come out of it. We have lost men. Let's not be under any illusions here, but my word, the Russians fared far worse than us, sir. Yes! Heroic victory, of course, sir.
Battle statistics.
Oh, that was a wonderful fight. Now, gentlemen. Russia's pulled out, actually. Are they going to retrieve more men? More men. Slaughters here. Looks like they're moving down here. We shall take care of them. We shall take care of them. Has Berlin fallen to the Poles? I've got a feeling they might well have done.
There has been an eruption of national pride.
We're definitely going to have to take that off there. Excuse me again, my friends. As we didn't take off that either. These are the things that do actually you forget to do. No, they still hold Berlin. Our plot thickens. Now, are we going to move inexorably towards... they've got nothing in here. They've got no forces in here. My goodness me. We are going to move immediately, sir. Look at that force now. Look at that. It's increased wonderfully there in strength. 45,000, you jest, surely. I think we might do. We might... That means we can probably pull more ships in to be repaired, actually. And we've probably got... Yes, look at that. What we'll do, we'll send Northumberland there as well. It should be at least available for us here. We're actually going to put the die here, or the day here. No, 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 no. And we're actually going to send... I think these need replenishing. No. This one does indeed. We're going to send this ship back in for repairs. All of this fleet, these fleets must be at full strength here, at rude health. We've got 40,000 here as our income. That is staggering here. I think we will increase our trade ports. Now, thankfully, that's become a global trade company. Look at that there. Wonderful. Mughal Empire is bringing a huge amount of income here for us. Our exports are growing substantially here. We don't need these on the coasts just yet. Now they've actually pulled away from there. I wish we could send some of these forces back here, but we can't at the moment. 56,000 from raiding. That is incredible. Now that should be... No, not yet. One more turn. But we have sent them packing here. We do have this army to deal with. Oh my goodness me, that is a difficult army to deal with there. We can't actually... I think what we will do is we'll move these gentlemen. No, actually we'll leave them there. We'll start replenishing this army here, in the hope that it replenishes before this army here strikes, but will it? I'm not sure. We're going to have to swap these armies out here. Drats. If we put them there, we can move this army into Greece. That will hold Greece for. Look at that. We've smashed them to pieces here, sir. Let them come. Let them come. Right. What's that? 10,000? With 1,500 there, we'll definitely put that 10,000 there. That is... We could build a whole new port for that cost there. We need to remove these fiends here from... Oh, come now, sir. Surely you jest here. We're actually going to pull forces down into Greece. We need to pull forces into Greece. It's quite clearly going to be the next battlefield. Look at this here. If we had forces here, we would destroy this army. That is an exceptionally powerful force. I mean, that is a wonderful Ottoman force. But they are up against probably one of our finest armies here in the field. And behind very, very powerful walls indeed. Improved settlement fortifications. We've got extended settlement fortifications. However, that is not an army to be sniffed at all. That's a very, very powerful... They've got, look at that, a full complement of Janissary hand mortars. And if they want to fight, then we shall oblige. I think we'll have Marines. We need the armies in the field, and we need to replenish. Remember, we've lost an army. Adam Ernuk's, General Ernuk's army was destroyed. We have promised him that he would be his army rebuilt. This is the beginning of that rebuilding process here. So we're going to have cuirassiers. We're also going to have... we'll have Marines. We're going to try and put back what we lost in terms of that treachery before. We need to keep some Marines available for next time around, but we will have some more Marines here. We've got here 2 of 6, excellent, and 5 of 8. We'll put another regiment here, then the rest will be made of line infantry as well, and some more additional cavalry, and also cannon. Oh, look at that, we can upgrade this as well. Excellent. It's starting to come together here. We are starting now to see ourselves building quite the empire here in terms of what's available. We need to get these forces into the field. Norway's going to have to look after itself.
Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Captain. Ship's orders, Captain. Under sail. Ready and awaiting orders. Lord. At the ready. Ready for orders.
That's
Not possible, sir.
not possible,
Ready
sir.
and awaiting orders. Orders received and understood. Awaiting further orders. On our way, Captain. Sir!
Do we have to help out the Swedes as well by giving them additional money? It looks like we're going to have to.
Ship shape and Bristol fashion, Captain. Under sail. Ship's orders. Aye, sir.
Oh, it's a joy to see.
Any orders? Make ready. Aye, aye, sir.
And can we hit? We can indeed. Malmo here.
Action!
Let's just have a little scout around here and let's see where those armies are. It looks like there they are. There's the first army, right out here, Umia. The two are additional. It looks like we're gonna help Sweden out here. We're going to need to keep Sweden on our side here. Now they're allies with France. They're enemies with the Ottoman Empire. Are they not enemies with Russia anymore? So we're actually going to help them here. We're going to help them keep themselves. They're actually not enemies with Russia at all anymore, so that's fine. We're actually going to help them here. We're going to give them some payments. So we're going to give them 1,000 here. Is there any technology we can use? Oh, we'll try and get improved coppering. No, that's fine. Not going to obviously negotiate, but we shall be of kind heart here. We shall give them 1,000. Let's see if that will help them replenish and repair some of these buildings here. Maybe this building here, Christiania here, the town here in Christiania. We're going to hit Stockholm. They've got nothing here to guard it at all. Not just the garrison. If we can take Stockholm here, if we can take Sweden, what a coup de grace that would be. And the French still hold Berlin here, but only just. Only just. Right, we need to increase our production here in Greece. Light infantry. Right, let's start getting ourselves back on our feet here. Let's start preparing ourselves for an attack into Russia. If Russia wants the fight, my word, they shall see it, sir. We shall take the fight. We've got the Ottomans to deal with as well. But we can't have peace yet with Russia. So you can see Russia is only hostile with us now at -96. So, but we're not going to look for peace until we've got Stockholm. As soon as we've gotten Stockholm off them, then we look to peace, because then we'll have secured the majority here of Scandinavia under our control. Anything else we can invest in here at all? I think we'll keep our investment in our navy, as we promised. High. So we've got another naval force going in here. I think, my friends, that's going to be the end of this episode. And what an episode it's been as well. What an episode. Look at that. What a fight that was down here. We vanquished one army here. Thankfully, we've managed to put these gentlemen here as well. If they try and move in against Athens, Greece here, it'll trigger another fight. We'll actually move these as well into. We're going to have to reinforce Greece quite significantly here. We've also moved in this army here. Look at that. Now that's a magnificent sight. We've moved them into to combat this force here. They really quite clearly want to try and wrestle Greece, or at least part of it, from us. They shall not succeed. But, my friends, I'm going to end this episode here. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, my friends, if you have enjoyed it, please keep those comments coming down below. Please keep your comments coming down below. They've been absolutely fantastic. They really have helped drive this campaign forward tremendously. It really, really has. I do apologise for the lateness of putting this campaign up, of getting it uploaded, my friends, but as you can hopefully understand, it has been quite a busy time for me. But hope you enjoyed it. We are really, really, really watching quite the situation unfold here. Munich has fallen. Munich has fallen. So the French are getting pushed back steadily, bit by bit here. They're getting thrown back. It could be, we could be seeing the end of France here. Yeah, we literally could be seeing the end of France. I don't think Spain are going to join them anytime soon. They're only at war with Genoa. They're only at war with France. The Ottomans are at war with us, but that's fine. Mughal Empire are friendly. They're not at war with anybody. France are going to collapse. I mean, their allies are pretty large. Only, I think it's Sweden. Sweden are only at war with the Ottomans. So as you can see, France are pretty much on their own. I wonder if we could put an army together, and if we see France collapsing, could we even jump in here and take Paris? I think with that in mind, I think we prepare ourselves for an eventuality. Oh, look at that, green jackets. We'll prepare our army here that if France is about to fall, we shall move in. That's a way off here. That hasn't happened just yet, and things might turn around. The French might even send more additional reinforcements up here, up to the front. But my word, they've come under a tremendous amount of pressure here. But my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please keep your comments coming down below, my friends. It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for all of your wonderful support, all your kind words, and I hope you're enjoying this campaign, my friends, thus far. Plenty more to come. There'll be another episode of the Great British Campaign after this. Then it'll be Russia. Then it'll be USA. Then it'll be Spain after that. I know some of you might be asking where the Spanish campaign is. It will be around, but it'll probably be after the USA campaign. With time and things like that, my friends, I'm just going to shift the things around a little bit, but things will eventually move back into their proper places eventually. And there's also another video coming out between this and the Russian campaign, so look out for that, my friends, as another video I want your advice on. But until next time, my friends, bye for now.